Well, hello, welcome, LinkedIn leaders. I'm super excited to be hosting my first ever LinkedIn Live today. And I just want to share really great content that's going to help you achieve more of your goals on a personal, professional, and business level. So, first and foremost, let me introduce myself. My name is Natasha B. Russell, aka NBR, and recently I got married in October 2nd, 2021. So, Mrs. Darby, I really want to learn a little bit more about who you are out there. Feel free to share your questions. It's my first time using StreamYard, so I'm just testing out some of these tools and see what's going to work best. But today I'm talking about how can we strategize for our success, because I do believe that strategy is key. But before we even get to strategy, we got to talk about purpose. We got to talk about the vision, that big grandiose vision, and then we come up with the strategy. And I do believe that although there's different tactics and ways to achieve a certain goal, the blueprint of a strategic plan remains essentially the same. So I'm going to dive into that in today's presentation, and I just welcome you all to join in, listen in, and I hope that you'll learn something today that you can apply to your life, to your business, to your career, to helping you to achieve those big audacious goals. We're going into a new year, 2022. Wow. And I know a lot of us are still struggling with a lot of things concerning things that are beyond our control. So my goal is to inspire, to motivate, and to empower you to truly believe in yourselves and your God-given purpose, and then to achieve those big goals and those big dreams. That's what I'm all about. So, I got a little upbeat music. So wherever you are, you can dance with me. Yes, yes. I do believe in movement, especially if you're at work. I don't know if people are on holidays, but energy flows. And where energy goes, energy flows. So wherever you may be in your seat or on your handheld device, I invite you to just move up a little bit, shake your energy around, lift your vibration, and just really invite yourself into this space with me today to learn something, to be open-minded. For me, this LinkedIn Live being my first one, I'm almost a perfectionist. I had to let that go. I'm moving out of my comfort zone. And so this is it. And I'm looking forward to doing more lives in the new year on a scheduled time, a scheduled day. So stay tuned for more of that. So now that we are going to get into the gist of the presentation, I'll just turn the volume down and start off. So welcome, leaders. I do believe that we are all leaders in our own right. No matter what role you hold, no matter where you are in your life, you have the ability to lead. And my mantra is let's lead with purpose, with confidence and clarity. Because I do believe when you lead with purpose, oh my gosh, that just changes everything for you. You're more fulfilled, you're more happy, you're more relaxed. You know that what you're doing is making an impact. And I do believe each and every one of us has a certain gift, a unique gift, something special that we should be sharing with the world. And that's our purpose. That's what I consider our God-given purpose. And when you find it, you'll know, because you'll gain so much energy from doing that. I do also believe confidence. You need to be confident in everything and anything that you do. And no, I'm not talking about arrogance. I'm talking about that confidence that you know who you are, that you're comfortable in your skin, that you celebrate yourself and you're able to celebrate others, that you uplift yourself and you uplift others. And then last but not least, clarity. Oh my gosh. I can tell you that clarity will save you time, money, and resources. And who doesn't want to save time? Who doesn't want to save money? Who doesn't want to save resources? So yes, you got to be purposeful. We got to be confident. We got to have clarity, because these are the things that I do believe are going to help us to achieve our goals and those big audacious dreams. So welcome to Strategize for Your Success. That's what we talk about today. Strategy, 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 as we work on, gaining new levels in 2022 and beyond. So officially, my name is Natasha B. Russell, aka NBR, aka Mrs. Darby, and I am a transformational speaker and life coach. I say that because I don't just speak at you, I ask questions. I'm also a PR consultant. And at the end of the day, my goal is to help you achieve your goals and your dreams faster than you would on your own. So let's walk into a little bit of the presentation. All right, so a little bit about NBR. Who am I? I was born and raised in Calgary, Alberta. Anyone else from Calgary, Alberta? So this is home for me. I'm in Canada. For those of you who may like, where's Calgary, Alberta? So I live in Canada. It is about minus 26, minus 32 with wind chill today. It is freezing. We've been under this cold spell for the past several days since like Christmas Eve, and I'm grateful that we can still be inside and be warm. Some of you, no matter where you may be at a beach. Good for you. I'm celebrating wherever you may be. Feel free to drop in the comment section where you're watching from. I'd love to know. And so I was born and raised in Calgary, Alberta. This is home for me. I've lived here pretty much all my life, maybe minus, in my early 20s, I moved to the US for about 6, 7 months, thinking I wanted to become a country star. I lived in Antioch, Tennessee for a while. That didn't work out, so I quickly came home. No, but in all truth, I did live there for 6, 7 months. It was really nice, but I got homesick. I was about 19, and I wanted to really just be grounded where I was at home. And so I came back and I started to work in the legal industry at 18, right after graduating. I was very purposeful and like, I want to help people. My parents said, you know what, maybe you should be a lawyer. And so I started to place myself working with agencies. And so eventually around 2021, I just started to become more focused on who I was becoming. And I think we're all still understanding who we're becoming, but I started to work in large law firms. I worked with Bennett Jones for probably 7 years of my time in my 20s. And I realized I loved the law because I loved how the law helped to dictate our values. Laws are created because of our values. And so I really enjoyed that part. And the great thing about it, I worked with a variety of lawyers, amazing lawyers and partners in all walks of law, corporate, commercial, mergers and acquisition, litigation. And I quickly realized that, you know what? Law is great, but I really don't want to be a lawyer. I do want to help people. And so I decided to go back to school. And at that time, I guess I was considered a mature student, so I looked into what could I study that would allow me to apply the things I enjoy, the things I love, helping people, communications, funny story, or maybe not funny story. I was always not a good communicator. I was very shy, very timid. I was a horrible public speaker growing up. And so it took time, and I'm still developing my skills. I believe we all are developing those skills. So I went back, I went to MRU, Mount Royal University. I applied for 3 programs at that time: the communications with a major in PR, public relations, journalism. I also applied for their broadcasting program. And then I realized, wow, I got accepted into all 3, but I'm like, wow, what would take me further? What would give me more opportunities for growth? And so I decided to go the PR route, and my communications career began then. So I started at MRU. I was still working part-time at the law firm, and I really enjoyed my studies. Even then I was still horrible public speaker. I remember when I'd have to go up and do group presentations, I would quickly, I'd have my cue cards and I'd read them as super fast as I could, and I'd get off the stage. And I remember one day, one of our professors, Jeremy Berry, if you ever see this, shout out to you. He mentioned, it was time for us to present on something that we were passionate about, and we had full reins to decide on the content, the topic. And so I talked about child poverty. That was something I wanted to learn more about. And I remember back then, so I graduated with my bachelor's of communication with a major in PR in 2018, or no, 2012. 2012, almost a decade ago. And around 2017, I was in her 3rd years when I did that presentation. The stat was um, every 30 seconds, a child dies from extreme poverty. Every 30 seconds, a child dies from extreme poverty. And I couldn't fathom in my mind, how is that possible? In a world of so much abundance, how could we have children around the world dying every 30 seconds? And that was something that really touched my heart. And so I presented on that topic. And that was the first time I actually did a wonderful, amazing, thought-provoking, and engaging presentation. And I remember my cohorts, my class, they were like, wow, Natasha, like, that was amazing. How did you do that? You, not to be rude, but you were not really good up there ever. How did you turn that around? And I said, you know what? Honestly, it was the fact that I started to talk about things that meant something to me. that I cared about. And I believe that we all, if we want to become, if that's one of your goals for 2022 and beyond, to become a better public speaker or a better communicator, start with the things that you care about. Because when you care about something, you're more passionate about it. And so when I did that presentation, wow, it was amazing. I felt engaged. I didn't even need cue cards except just for my key points, and I nailed it. And I came off the stage feeling empowered. Empowered. How many of you right now are feeling empowered? There's so many things happening in this world that are beyond our control. And so I always say, focus on what's within your control. What's within your control? Because if we focus on those things, that's what we're able to change. If we focus on the things that are outside of our control, that's where stress and anxiety and even depression can creep in. So, first rule of thought for me is focus on what I can control. And I encourage you to do the same. And so, my PR career began. I started working energy, loved it, was great, had the really nice corporate jobs. And then I realized this is great, but I still want more. I still don't really feel fulfilled. And so I went back and I started to begin my studies in coaching. And I went and I got my first certificate as a life coach and then a health coach. And I did that through ICF certification. So I'm international certified health and life coach. I also went back and said, you know what? I really want to be a public speaker, a professional motivational speaker. So I got my certification in that. And I have other certifications in communications, crisis and risk communications, online reputation management from IABC. So I'm an avid learner. And I do believe each and every one of us, we should be passionate about something. And whatever we're passionate about, let's learn about it more. Let's dig in. Let's study. Let's read more. Let's always continually be empowering yourself with more knowledge. Which brings me to my second rule of thought. Knowledge is powerful, yes, but it's only powerful when it's applied. Knowledge is power, but it's only powerful when applied. Something for you to take note of. So I continue to understand I continue to figure out what I'm more passionate about, and I want to learn and learn and learn. And I always set a goal every year to read a certain amount of books, to either get a certification in some sort that is driving me to the big grandiose vision. And I invite you to do the same. So it brings me to purpose. I remember the days when I used to speak a lot in public, like in person. And with COVID now, we have the lovely technology of virtual. And I do believe there's a lot of advantages to virtual. So I I welcome virtual, but I also miss being in the room and being more hands-on. But my purpose in a nutshell, and it took me forever to figure it out. I'm now in closer to my 40s. And it took me probably a decade or so from the time I even start to ask myself that question. What's my purpose? And I recall when I would ask this question in a room full of people, what's your purpose? A lot of times no one would know. They wouldn't be able to raise their hand, and that's okay. So I want to invite you today to think about your purpose. If you're not sure, what is it? What is the reason I was born? And so what I believe is my purpose is that I was born to speak. I was born to inspire, motivate, and empower people all over the world, men, women, youth, children, to really believe in themselves and their God-given purpose, and then to achieve their goals and their dreams with purpose, with confidence and clarity. And so every day when I wake up, I say, thank you, God, for waking me up in my right sound mind, because every day is a gift. And then I say, who can I help today? Who can I help today? I believe if we live our life with who can we help instead of who can we receive from today, it really changes the dynamics of your life. And your life becomes more purposeful, more meaningful, and more memorable. And that's what life is about to me. So I'm on a mission, and I welcome any one of you who are out there on a similar mission to join me, because one thing I've realized now more than ever, there is power in community. There is power in community, and I want to celebrate with you. I want to be able to share my skill sets to help you achieve your goals, and I definitely could use your skill sets to help me achieve my goal. But my mission is to transform as many lives and businesses as possible from the inside out. And I do that really focusing on, you know, being purposeful, intentional, being, a visionary, but then also having a strategy and then executing, because without it, we just have these big goals and dreams in our head. And then, oh, it's the new year. I have these goals. I'm going to, join the gym, or I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to get more sleep. I'm going to spend more time with my family. And then before you know it, February, March comes and you forgot all about it. And so I do believe that it's so important for us to, one, be honest with ourselves, be realistic, be kind to ourselves, and set goals that are meaningful. And then have the strategy, once you have the vision, have the strategy to push you forward. And then you evaluate what's working well, what's not working well. And if it's not working, then the great thing about evaluation, you can change it. All right. So I'm on a mission. I want to transform as many lives and businesses for the better from the inside out. And so here I'm really big on community. Here's my little girl, Natalia. I really am big on volunteering. So I volunteered the Kids Help Phone. I am their communications lead for their Walk So Kids Can Talk campaign. I've been doing that now for almost 4 years. COVID has changed things, of course, a bit. So we've done a lot of virtual things, virtual dance-a-thons and so forth to raise money. And that's just me and my daughter before COVID hit. And, we have the BMO teddy bear there. I also volunteer at the Calgary Black Chambers. I am one of their strategic advisors. I help as a mentor as well. I'm also a volunteer with MRU Alumni Committee. So I'm big on, giving my skill sets, using my skill sets to help bring in community of alumni to be engaged in the MRU community. And I'm also, last but not least, a volunteer leader ambassador with the United Way. So I'm really big on volunteering my time and energy to organizations, nonprofit organizations who are using their skills to help other people, to help the youth, to help other, vulnerable individuals to grow and to become and achieve great things. So I'd love to hear a little bit about you. Do you volunteer? Where do you volunteer? Why do you volunteer? And that's a little bit about me. All right, next slide. So let's get into the good stuff now that you've shared a little bit about myself and why I'm here. Oh, and as I mentioned, I recently got married in October, a couple months ago, and he's not on the slide yet, Mr. Dari, but I'm so grateful because, I do believe everything has its perfect timing, but we have to have a vision of what we want. And I'm big on vision boards. And you also need to, again, have the strategy and then execute. So let's move on. So purpose. Excuse me, I'm going to have a sip of water here. I want to keep I'm really big on Aquafina. Anybody else like Aquafina water? So purpose. This is like critical when I think about anything we do in life, career-wise or business. Going back to my earlier thought, when you're purposeful, you have more meaning, you have more impact, you actually are fulfilled by what you do. Sometimes I know a lot of people who are money driven, and yes, we need money, we need wealth, we need to have money to change things, to do great things. But I do believe when you're purpose driven, it makes a total difference. And you enjoy the end result, you enjoy the process, you enjoy the journey. So I love definitions, I love quotes. Purpose, the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. So my question to you is, what's your purpose? I know it's not an easy question. Again, it took me like a decade to really figure out and clarify my purpose. I was born to speak, to inspire, to motivate, to empower men, women, children, youth all over the world to truly believe in themselves and their God-given purpose and to achieve their goals and their dreams. That's mine. What's yours? And more importantly, are you fulfilling it? Are you fulfilling it? And if you're not, I want you to know that that's totally okay. But it's so important for you now to think, hey, I'm moving into a new year. Do I want to keep living a life where I'm not really sure that I'm doing what I was born to do or that actually brings me joy, happiness, peace, fulfillment? Now's the time to do a clarity check, a purpose check, and say, hey, who am I? And am I becoming who I believe I was created to be? It's never too late. From the fact that you're alive, you're breathing, your mind is working, your brain is healthy, it is never too late. So I told you I'm a visionary and a strategist. That's a big part of who I am. I go into organization, I say, well, what's the vision? What do you want to achieve now, in a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? And then, well, what's the plan? We need a strategic plan in action. And I'm not talking about a 30-page document. I'm talking about a high-level overview of what do we need to do to drive these results, to achieve these results, and putting pen to paper. And research does prove that you are 90% more likely to achieve a desired outcome by, one, having that vision super clear, two, having a strategic plan, and three, sharing that outwardly with somebody, an audience that you trust to hold you accountable. So it all starts with a vision, followed by a plan, executed with persistence, crystallized by purpose and patience. You got to be persistent. Nothing amazing comes easy. I'll tell you that much. I can't tell you. I've been through so many things in my life thus far. And I always just say, I used to say, why me? Why me? Why this struggle? Why this challenge now? Why this hiccup? And then I start to say, well, why not me? I had to change my mindset. Why not me? Because I'm strong enough, because I'm purposeful, because I'm able to overcome. I'm an overcomer. And so our mindset is key in everything that we do. So we got to persist. And then we got to be crystallized by, again, that purpose. What's your purpose? Align it with your work, your career, your personal life, your business. Purpose is important to living your best life. And then you got to be patient. Now, by patient, I don't mean just sitting back, chilling out, and waiting for it to come to you. I'm saying being patient, that the work you're putting in consistently takes time. The work that you're putting in consistently takes time to see the results. So, for example, if you decide, I have a health goal I want to achieve, I want to, get in the best shape of my life, you're not going to gain that goal or see that result by just going to the gym 3 times for the year and maybe having 3 or 4 smoothies and then saying, okay, well, why did I get my perfect, get in the perfect shape? No, you need to be consistent. And we know this. And I do believe sometimes we don't achieve those goals because, one, we get burnt out so quickly, or two, the goal that we set really was unrealistic to begin with, or three, maybe because we didn't have somebody to hold us accountable, or four, because we just never set the goal to begin with. So we got to be able to be purposeful and be patient as we set any goal. And that's why I say, in a nutshell, I am a business and life strategist, because the strategy applies. You have different tactics, but the framework, the blueprint, can apply to any situation. So let's talk about the vision. A vision is not just a picture of what could be. It is an appeal to our better selves, a call to become something more. What's your vision? What is your big grandiose vision that you get so excited about, that you're like, wow, if only I could achieve this, or I could be here or do that? And I do a lot of surveys and I ask my audience. I've spent a lot of time focusing on other platforms, Instagram, Facebook, that I'm really excited to be on LinkedIn and make this my main platform moving forward in 2022 and beyond. I hear a lot of, I want freedom, financial freedom. That seems to be the consensus a lot. I want financial freedom. I want to be able to work from anywhere. I want to be able to, study from anywhere. I want to be able to travel anywhere. I want to be able to have more time with my family, with my loved ones. I want to have more time for self. Self-care is a huge one. Our health is our wealth. I will repeat that, our health is our wealth. I'll share a personal story with you. In September of this year, I went out for my stagette dinner, bridal shower, at a lovely restaurant. We had the private dining room, and I won't say the restaurant name, just, out of privacy. And I don't know why, but they had a broken chair in the room, and it was off to the side, but there was no label on it, like, please don't sit here. And so at the end of the night, when we're taking photos, me and the ladies, I get up, we're taking photos, and then I go to, we've exchanged gifts. So that chair now that was in the corner, that was holding gifts, is now vacant. I go over and I sit in that chair, not knowing the chair was broken. And so I fell to the ground on concrete, hard ground, my hip, my shoulder. And I mean, I've been in so much pain ever since. Like, it's been really bad. It's been rough. I've been doing treatments, I've been trying to slow down, which for me is it can be hard. It's your hip. You need to walk, you need to move, so not going to the gym, not be able to be as active, especially when you're in the midst of planning your wedding, getting married. Can you imagine? It felt like such a kick in the butt. It was a kick in the butt. But did I stay down? Did I decide to just fall into a pity party? No, we have to keep moving. I say we have to take time to rest, of course. And I'm learning to even focus on more rest, but not too much rest that I feel overtired, because that's not beneficial either. But we got to be able to see the positives and the negatives. It could have been worse, could have been much worse. Still not great, because I'm still in treatment, but at least I'm starting to see some improvement. So whatever you may be going through, I say this all, we're all going through something that nobody knows nothing about. I believe each and every one of us, no matter how grand our life may be or not, we're all going through something that nobody knows nothing about. And what would that look like if we were able to confide or share some of those experiences? Not all the positive, amazing things, but some of those hard, gut-wrenching stories. How could we empower each other? And so I want to empower you today to know that wherever you may be in your life, Doesn't have to be where you're gonna, doesn't have to be the same place where you're gonna be next year. That you do have the power to change that. And you start with your mindset. You start with thinking about your vision. All right. So what is your big grandiose vision? What does it look like for you on a personal level? Your health, your, your wealth, your finances, your spirituality, your family, self-care, business, career. What is the big vision that you have for your life? And then map it out. Map it out. Now, research does prove that there is power in having a vision board. Now, funny story, I used to do my vision boards. I started doing a vision board about maybe, I'd say 12 years ago. And that really has helped me to achieve a lot. I use my vision board to achieve my first home, my first property, which is now a real estate property, my second home. At the time, I was still a full-time working single mom, and so it's not like you have to have a partner in there to get those things. You can do these things on your own until your partner comes along, which is a great addition. I went back through school, gained my degree with a vision board, having that in mind. A lot of the goals I've achieved has been through having a vision of where I want to be next year. So I ask you, do you have a vision board? And if you don't, it's okay. Today at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, I am hosting a vision board workshop. It is too late now to register, but if you really, really want to register and you can get me an email, send me an email at natasha@natashabrussell.com by 5 p.m. Mountain Time. I will get you registered to join us. But we're doing our vision board today, and I do believe it's powerful to have a vision of where you want to be. And I'm talking about not just words, but visuals, photos, because your subconscious mind reads visuals. So create the vision. What do you want to be next year this time? Where will you be next year this time? Because there is power in your subconscious mind. And I'll share with you, that's probably a whole nother presentation, but how to use your subconscious mind to help you to achieve those goals and those dreams. Now, I will leave you with one resource here. It's a book that I have all my clients read. It's called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. I'll repeat that again. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. It's a great read. If you don't have the book, I invite you to get a copy on Amazon or a used copy. Read it one chapter a week is what I say, so you can actually take time to put into action what you've learned. Sometimes we just read to say, oh, I'm done the book. But how about we read and apply? Remember, knowledge is power when we apply it. So that's my little nugget for you there. A great read. But let's get our vision board. I'm doing mine today as well. Like I said, with a group of people via Zoom. I'm super excited because I have all my goals in my head and I have the vision. Now it's going to be to make the new vision, because last year I really accomplished a lot of what I said I was going to do. I got married. I started my show. I did the MBR show. I worked on health last quarter. That sort of where, fell off a bit, but I was really almost to my fitness goal. So I want us to embrace the vision and start with having a visual picture of what that looks like for yourself, for you, not anybody else. All right, let's talk about strategy. Strategy. What is strategy? I define strategy as your roadmap to success. How are you going to get where you want to go? It's like your map. You're going to go on a drive and you want to know how to get to Canmore. I don't know. I love Canmore. I'm in Calgary, over Banff. Banff is great, but Canmore is my spot. I love to go there and relax. So I probably put it in the map if it's my first time, right? Do you have your strategy, your roadmap to how you're going to get to those goals, to achieve those goals? It's super important. So write it down. Here's my goal. I'm going to break it down into how you can create SMART goals and then strategize and have that piece of paper, and then that mentality of getting the habit of reading those goals every day to yourself before bed and doing one thing every day, no matter how small, to move you forward to achieving those goals and those dreams. And one thing I've realized too from my own personal experience, it's important to focus on no more than 3 main goals per year, 3 huge goals. Because if you focus on too many things, your energy, you're only one person, gets displaced. And then sometimes you end up accomplishing nothing because you get so burnt out before you even start. So start small, 3 main goals, focusing on one major one at a time. And then as you achieve that goal, yes, keep it going, that momentum, that habit, you work on the next goal. So strategy. So what's your strategy? Again, figure out your vision. Where do I want to be 1 year from now? Where do I see myself? What am I doing? What am I hearing? What am I physically doing for career, for business? Where am I traveling to? What does family time look like? What does self-care look like? What is health? What is financial, wealth? purpose, all of the things. What am I driven to do? What will I do a year from now? So have the vision mapped out visually. Then you want to break them down into goals. I'll talk to you about that in the next slide, SMART goals. And then you want to talk about your tactics, which are exactly the tactics, the things you're going to do to achieve the desired outcome. And then you got to execute. And then you got to execute. A lot of times this is where we fall off. We want to execute and then we get bogged down with life. I don't know. The kids are home from school. You really want to read this book. You're distracted. Take time for yourself, whether it be an hour a day. Like my daughter, I love that she loves to read. An hour a day. She reads her book. I read my book. My hubby reads his book. And then we share. We have what we also call gratitude moments every day. What are you grateful for today? And it's just something that we do no matter what, no matter how busy we are, we are every day we have a gratitude moment. It's you should just try it. What are you grateful for every day with your family, even yourself? Journaling. It's very powerful because you're gonna have those moments where you feel like, oh, I'm not having a good day. I used to have those days where I'm like, I'm not having a good day or a good week. And I remember when I start to work on my mindset, I start to say, hey, I'm not having a great moment. It's just a moment in time, but it will change. And as I start to do that, I start to interrupt my thoughts. I call that anchoring. I'll talk to you a little bit about that. Things began to change. So we got to execute. We got to figure out. I hear this a lot. I don't have enough time. I stopped saying that. I stopped saying I don't have enough time. I started to say I will create the time. Why? By making a calendar, by staying true to what's important to me. Everything else doesn't matter. What are my top 3 priorities today? If I don't make it to list item number 9 or 7, fine. I got to my 1, 2, 3. That matters. A funny thing I'll share too, when I was talking about my husband, and people talk about manifestation or whatever, and I had this on my vision board last year. I used to say before that, oh, I don't need a man, but it'd be nice to have a man. Or, I started to say, I do need a man. And I'm looking forward to embracing my partner. Just that language alone. Wow, it's powerful. Again, your subconscious mind. I started to say, yes, I do need a partner. What do you mean? I don't want to go through life alone by myself, just raising my daughter. I want a partnership. And many of us want that. And not that you need it, but I knew for myself, to get to where I want to go and to live the life that I was born and meant to live according to what I believe to be true for who I am as an individual, I do want a partner. And so I changed my language. I had that on my vision board. I started to yes, we call it manifestation, but I just started to believe before I even had it. Same with the home, with the career, with the education, everything. I would always just envision I already had it and what that felt like. And we have to execute on that. And then last but not least, we have to evaluate. Sometimes I think I've fallen off on this and learned to become better, evaluating sooner than later. Not when it's over, the year's done. You evaluate, I would say quarterly at the most, depending on the goal. You want to be evaluating daily, weekly, depending on how big the goals. For those massive, gigantic goals, quarterly is a good way to do it, or even monthly, to say, hey, where am I? Am I actually making progress? And if I'm not, how do I change it right now so that I can save myself some time and some money? How can I do that? Because if you don't do that, well, then what you go at the end of the year and you're like, wow, maybe I spent 25K on marketing and I realized that wasn't even the right marketing channel. And if I had evaluated that in month 1, I probably would have only spent maybe 1,000 or something and said, hey, okay, that's not working. Let's try something new. And I'll share a story because when I launched my business a few years ago, I had like this big, come on, yes, people get ready. I'm launching something new. No one had an idea. Still working in my corporate, but I knew I was resigning and I wanted to have my big bang. And I didn't have my opt-in on my website. And I had almost 3,000 people come to my website launch, and I didn't have a way to capture their information. For me, that hurt, but it's a huge lesson learned. So evaluation sooner than later. What are the tactics? Does it make sense? At the end of the day, we must plan to succeed. They always say this: if you don't plan to fail, you fail to plan. No, what does it say? If you fail to plan, you fail to succeed. Absolutely, Steve. I hear you. Well said, right? So what are we thinking about strategy-wise? And I want to remind you, I mentioned the platform for strategy. The framework for strategy remains essentially the same, but the tactics will be different depending on the goal. All right, so let's move on. So what are your goals? What are those big goals? I talk about SMART goals. SMART. You got to be specific. You got to be measurable. They got to be attainable, relevant, and time bound. And why? I'll give you an example. So, for example, if you say, okay, I want to get in the best shape of my life next year. That's a lot of sometimes that's usually a lot of our goals for 2022 or any year, the fitness goal, the health goal. And for me, like last year I mentioned, I was like on, oh my gosh, for the first time in my life, I was actually really doing the healthy lifestyle, the fitness, going to the gym 3, 4 times a week until I had that injury in September. My whole world sort of went, that side of my goal sort of just went to a pause, a hindrance. But again, it's a short term. I say it's a short term delay because I will get back to that again. Again, being kind and being patient with yourself to heal. I got to recover, right? But I was on it. Every morning I get up, I do my 30 minutes cardio, I do my mad fit exercise workouts on YouTube, then I go to the gym for like 45 minutes to do my weight training, and I do that like 4 days a week. And I was loving it. It was a habit. Everything we do, believe it or not, is a habit. How you start your day, how you end your day, what you eat most times. Some of us are not as adventurous. We eat the same thing every day. We go for our breaks at the same time. We end the day the same way. I want to invite you this year to think about some new things, to be creative, because you know what? When your brain becomes programmed, nothing changes. If you want to see change, you got to do something new. So no matter how small that change is, maybe you're not liking to wear bright colors. It's not your thing. Or I don't want to wear a red lipstick, or a guy with I don't want to wear a pink shirt. I want to invite you to leave the safe zone in this year. Finishing up the year, going to 2022, I want to invite you to get out of your comfort zone. Like today, it's my first LinkedIn Live, because great things happen when you do. They really do. And that goes back to that confidence piece. It's not having perfection. It's not being perfect. It's saying, hey, I'm good with me. I'm comfortable with who I am in my own skin. And because I'm comfortable with who I am and I'm big on elevating myself and elevating others, I'm okay with trying on that new lipstick or that new color shirt. And that is key. So goals, no matter, I was talking about health and fitness. So I want to become in the best shape of my life next year. Let's be specific. What does getting in the best shape of your life look like? Are you gaining 20 pounds of muscle? Are you losing 20 pounds of fat? So here's an idea. I will gain 20 pounds of muscle by December 31st, 2022. That's a SMART goal. Why? I'm very specific. It's measurable. I'll know if I'm gaining that muscle or not. It's attainable. You can definitely gain 20 pounds of muscle or more in a year. And I would say give yourself, that is a realistic goal. And that's something that you probably most likely, if you're consistent, you're gonna kill that goal for sure. You're gonna achieve it, but you're gonna achieve even more, right? So it's attainable. And then is it relevant to you? It should be relevant to you. I'm not talking about setting goals that are gonna please other people. I used to live my life at one point in my life where I used to try to please my dad, or this perfectionist thing. Oh, you come home with 98%. Oh, what's great? That's great, Natasha, but where's the other 2%? And I went through my life thinking everything had to be 100%. No, 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 no. I actually don't. That's not my mindset. And I'm so grateful that I was able to unlearn that early in my 20s and to throw that away, because that's when my true life of really finding out who I was began. It's like, no, it's not about being perfect. It's about being imperfectly perfect. We are all imperfectly perfect in our own way. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of humankind, that we all have unique talents, skills, and abilities. And once we're able to manifest and own that greatness and share it with the world, great things happen. So that's an idea of a SMART goal. I want to gain 20 pounds of muscle by X date. And then you got to get some tactics. So now that you have your goals, your tactics, essentially, it's just, what will you take? What actions will you take to achieve that 20 pounds of muscle by the end of the year? Well, I'll share some things I know will work for you. As a health coach, I've studied this. So one thing, rule number one, is you got to get enough rest. You need rest. Yes, you need rest. You got to have a sleep goal. You need a sleep goal to help with the health goal. So maybe, they say on average, depends, everybody has their sweet spot. So maybe you need, I'd say roughly depends, 7 to 9 hours for an adult. Sometimes for kids, it's 9 to 12. And some people, like I have a cousin who 5 hours and he's like perfect. If he sleeps over 5 hours, he feels groggy. Under, he's cranky. So it depends on what works for you. And so you'll know. So have a good sleep goal. You need to rest because your body needs time to rejuvenate, to heal, to build the muscles, right? You need time to rest. So rest is important. You also need a lot of water. I have my Aquafina. I love Aquafina. That's my, water. And if I don't have Aquafina, then I add lemon juice to any water just to give it a little ting, because I don't like sparkling water. I don't really like bubbly stuff. So water, you need lots of water, you need lots of rest, you need lots of protein. No matter how you get your protein, if you're a vegan, whatever, you need protein. And you need to take your multivitamins. Men too, take your multivitamins. Go to Costco and buy your one a day for men. Your omega-3s is very important. Those healthy fish oils, your multivitamin, and make sure that you're getting your vitamins. And then eating not to be full, but eating to be satisfied. Like, okay, I feel good. And not eating to starve yourself or just to eat only protein, but balance, right? The veggies, the carbs. You can have whatever you want within moderation. I do believe that. You can have anything you want within moderation. I do believe that, right? Life is short. Let's enjoy it. So what are the tactics you're going to do? I just named a few. And you can add on more. I'm going to go to the gym at least 3 to 4 times a week, or I'm going to do some home exercise. Maybe I got a little toddler. I'm going to do some push-ups with my little toddler, and that's fun too. Make it enjoyable. Don't make it a process that you don't enjoy, because if you don't enjoy the process, leaders, you won't stick with it. You will fall off. So enjoy the process. And for me, when I was getting up and I was doing my workouts every day, today is my first time back on the treadmill. I was like, I can't lay in bed much longer. Let's just see. Let's start moving, and hopefully, I don't inflame anything. So I think about, how am I going to feel after? And I feel amazing. My mind feels alert. My mind feels fresh. And so think about how you're going to feel after your workout, or, after you've had a really great day of eating healthy food that fuels you and doesn't drain your energy. I got into a little rep since the fall, like, oh, I'd have the coffee in the morning because my husband makes really great coffee with the sweet milk, a little tip of salt. And I was like, ooh, I'm not a coffee girl, but I became the coffee girl. And even this morning I said, you know what? I'm done with the coffee now. I just want my green tea, just black, how I love it. And that's me creating those new habits again, falling in love with the new habits that I love. So find things that give you energy and don't drain your energy. Too much sugar will drain your energy. It'll bring you up your glucose level and it will just drop you down. Okay. So tactics, make a list. And I'm having a workshop around strategy January. The date is coming. I'll put it out there for you to join me. But strategy is important when you have tactics and you have to apply it. So then the last thing is, yeah, I just said it, apply it. You got to execute. Leaders, we got to execute. I say this all the time. I've been guilty of this. Oh, I'm going to do this. And then I get distracted and I'll get to it tomorrow or later. And that's why I talked about in the beginning or midway through, I said, you know what? Let's set goals that are achievable, but no more than 3 major goals for the year. Because if you set more goals than that, you can become distracted. I have 10 huge things I want to accomplish this year. And before you know it, you're diverting all your energy to all these different places and nothing's happening. I want to encourage you to say, hey, I got these 10 major goals, yes, but I'm only going to focus on these 3 for now. And when I accomplish those 3 goals, then I'll move to the next one. Again, habits, creating that habit of excellence, that habit of balance, that habit of structure that works for you. So you got to execute. And executing is doing the little things every day that's going to help you to get to that big, grandiose goal. No matter how big it is or how small it is, that goal may be just like, you know what? I want to get more sleep. I'm going to start going to my bed 1 hour earlier. Or you know what? A good tool or we should all do this. And I know we've all not all, some of us have fallen into the habit of this little device right here, our cell phones, so easily accessible at night. You put it by your bed head, and before you know it, you're scrolling before you go to sleep. I want to encourage you in the new year to put your phone away, to have it on sleep mode at a certain time. If it's 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., my phone goes to sleep. I don't get any more calls unless it's an emergency call. And I spend that last hour not looking on my smartphone, not even watching TV, unless it's something that's going to help me get to my goals. Spend that last hour reading a book, a tangible book. I love tangible books, highlighting in it, and not just reading again to rush through, but reading to apply. Application, application, application. So how are some things, these little things you can do that hour a day that you may devote to, who knows how many hours you're spending online, to yourself, self-care, having a bubble bath before bed, having some playtime with the kids or some meditation time with yourself. Maybe that's how you start your morning, whatever it may be for you. That first hour of your day projects how you end your day, how you lead your day. How you start your day projects how you lead your day. Are you getting up in the morning all rush, 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 trying to get to work? Or, maybe now a lot of us are working from home. How do you start your day? Start it with intention. Start your day how you want to start it, whether it be, that workout, that coffee and that newspaper, that time for prayer and meditation, whatever it be. Start your day the way you want to start it. And you'll be amazed how your day will feel more amazing because you're creating habits for success for you. All right, execution, execution. Now let's wrap up with what I consider my 6 C's to success. And I say this at the end of this presentation, but I want to preface it right now that success means different things to different people. I say that because you need to know what success is for you. Some people think success is I want $10 million in the bank or I want to be a billionaire, but why? Success might mean I want to just have a, nice, beautiful family home, be able to go on vacation with my family 3, 4 times a year. Define success for yourself. Don't let society or, outside influences determine success for you. You determine what success looks like for you. All right. So 6 C's to success. Clarity. I mentioned this. Super important because clarity will save you time, save you money, save you energy, save your resources. Time, money, energy, and resources. I should include that there, energy. So you want to ask yourself, well, what do I really want? What do I really want? Why do I want what I want? And what will having that do for me? What do I want? Why do I want what I want? And what will having that do for me? Clarity. You want to be successful in achieving a goal? Be super clear about what it is you want to see. Be super clear about what success looks like for you. Clarity, 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 clarity. It's so important. You can't be all things to everyone. Be all to yourself first, and you'll be able to be many more things to those around you. Be all to yourself first, and you'll be able to be many things to those around you. Confidence. Yes, as I mentioned, I wasn't confident growing up, but I'm continually building on my confidence. And how do I define confidence? Is really, like I said, it's loving you for who you are, it's accepting you for who you are, and the ability to celebrate others, to uplift others, to know that we don't look the same. I'm so glad we don't all look the same. We all have, different skin tones, different skill sets, different backgrounds. That's what makes us so amazing as human beings. So be confident in who you are. And I don't know if this used to be me, maybe 20 years ago, 10 years ago, like, oh, I wish I had this or I looked like this. No, that's like devaluing yourself, discrediting yourself. Say, I love who I am for who God created me to be. I can always become better. And that's life. I have this ability to become better, my best self, by looking in the mirror and appreciating who I see, not who I want to be, but who I see. And that's where the transformation begins, is accepting yourself for who you are and saying, hey, you know what? I would like to improve that. I could do better here, and not criticize yourself, but it's, I want to improve this. Very different mindset, very different language tone to yourself. I want to improve this, not I wish I could change that. I want to improve this because I want to be my best self. And you determine what best looks like for you. So I say this to you, confidence. If you don't believe in you, who will? Nobody. And I don't believe in the fake it till you make it confidence. I don't believe in that. I'm not going to uphold that. I believe you need to be confident who you are, and that starts by appreciating the small things about you. Maybe you're the person that has a great sense of humor. When you walk into the room, you light up, you smile a lot, you have a great laugh, you have great attention to detail. You're really good in your job or with the kiddies or whatever it may be. Focus on what you're good at, and then you can build that list on. Build that up, build yourself up. Be confident in who you are. And I do believe the more of us who are confident in ourselves and who God created us to be, the less crime, the less suicide, the less poverty, the less murders, the less all of this nonsense that's happening in the world would be happening if we all loved ourselves and we're able to celebrate each other. And that's really my mission, like I mentioned. Transforming as many lives for the better, because if we're happy in who we are, then we have less time for all the nonsense. All right. So this is me. Many of you guys, this is me and my mama. Here I am about 5 years old. And my mom, I was raised by, at the time my dad was around, but I was living in a split home situation. We were home together at some times and, growing up. But at this age of 5, 6, I didn't really share this story a lot with people. I mentioned that I struggled with confidence. I had a very rare form of epilepsy of the mouth. I never used to want to share that because I never wanted to be vulnerable. I didn't want anybody to look at me as flawed. But then I realized that there's power in being vulnerable. Yes, growing up, I had this very rare form of epilepsy of the mouth, meaning when I'd go to talk, I couldn't talk. My mouth would be numb. I would drool. And so that's why I was so shy and timid, as I mentioned in the beginning of my presentation. And so what happened is one day, like when my cousins would see me playing, they'd laugh and say, "Oh, she's just being silly." But one day my mom saw me and she's like, "No, something is wrong." And she took me to a specialist, and I could still see this guy to this day. I don't remember his name, but he's like, "She has a very rare form of epilepsy of the mouth, only the mouth. Never seen it before, but we're gonna give her some trial drugs to try her on it, see if it helps." And they put me on these trial medications, and it worked. After about a couple years, I had gained a lot of weight, but I had no more symptoms. And thank God to this day, I've never had another episode, another symptom. I've been cured. So thank God. But I remember growing up while I was going through this illness, um, I had to wear that little bracelet around my wrist that said, "Hey, she has epilepsy." I was bullied in school. I didn't feel good about myself. Plus, I'm putting on all this weight. And I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel good in my skin. And that's why I'm so big on confidence. Because when you're confident in who you are, you're able to achieve great things. And so in the next slide, you would think, here I am on TV representing the Kids Help Phone, talking about the great things they do for the community. As I mentioned, I'm one of the communications lead. I volunteer my time to help the Kids Help Phone with building their confidence, making sure that, they have suicide prevention tools to help our youth. And so I want you to know out there, if there's some things that you've been wanting to do, and I can tell you, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that you've been wanting to do, but you've been afraid. Fear has told you no. Fear has made you say, "Hey, I'm not ready yet." I want to invite you today to say, "Yes, I am ready. I am ready." It doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing is perfect, but I'm ready to go out and start something new today. I may want to, start blogging. I may want to start learning to, play the piano. I want to learn a new language. Whatever it may be, I want to do a live. Oh my gosh, a LinkedIn Live. It's my first one today. Super excited to do more in the new year and being consistent with content that can add value to your life, your business, your career, whatever it may be. Don't live your life in a box. Don't live your life in fear. Live your life being unapologetically you. Be respectful of other people, but don't live your life in that box of fear. Live your life feeling empowered. Be empowered to be who you were called to be. Remember, I talked about purpose? When you find your purpose, you find your life. When you find your purpose, you find your life. And you are deserving of every great thing that this world has to offer. So competition is a big thing. I think a lot of times we talk about, oh, we got to compete. Who are we competing against? I want to tell you that, and probably people think I'm crazy for saying this, but I don't believe in competition against others or even business. I believe in you showing up and being the best you can be at whatever you do. And by you looking in the mirror every day and saying, "Hey, I'm competing against myself," that is the only competition that should exist. I want to be my best self. When I can compete and be my better self, I'm better to me. I'm better to those around me. I'm better at my job. I'm better in my business. I'm better in my relationships. I'm better with my family. Compete against you because that's what really matters. Self-improvement, self-development, personal, professional development. You are your greatest asset. You are your greatest asset. And when you start to put your energy on you, great things happen. So courage. It's the next C. Courage is the willingness to act in spite of fear. Remember, I mentioned that in the confidence, they sort of go hand in hand. You have to be courageous. Maybe you want to start that side business, but you've been afraid to do so. There's so many resources now online. That's my biggest lesson learned from from the last couple years with the pandemic. I think we realized that everything we need is really online. Everything we need. And so you can take courses online, you can do business online. You are not boxed in. You're not limited by the things you can do. So figure out what you want, the vision, the goals. Be courageous enough to ask for what you want. Yes, you got to ask for what you want. That's my next slide. But be courageous enough to act in spite of fear. And know if you don't, people say, "Oh, fail, I don't want to fail." Failure, I don't really believe in failure unless you give up. But failure really is just feedback. Failure is really just feedback. "Oh, that didn't work. Okay, I'll try something different. Oh, that didn't work. I'll try something different." We don't change the goal. We just change the tactics, the strategy to get there. All right. Communicate, communicate, communicate. There is power in your words. I mentioned this like mindset. I had to have a mindset shift to be doing what I do every day, to get up and say, hey, whose life do I get to empower through coaching, through speaking, through consulting, being an entrepreneur? A full-time entrepreneur is not easy. It's definitely not. And it takes time to build the traction. It takes time to build that clientele. It takes time to build that system, that magical system. And that's what life is about, growing and learning, evolving. And so you got to be able to communicate powerfully, positively. What do I want? Ask for what you want. You'd be amazed what God, the universe, will do for you if you ask for what you want. There's power in your words. What do you say to yourself every day? Are you saying positive things? I can, I will, I am. Are you saying I can't, I won't, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough? I want to invite you to think about the words that come out of your mouth, because it creates an atmosphere. It creates an environment. So communicate with confidence. That's one of the seminars I do teach. I'll be bringing that to you in 2022, how to communicate with confidence, because I do believe and I know that communicating with confidence is a skill set, and it can change your life for the better. We're almost to the end. So here's one of my favorite affirmations, and I use this for myself and my clients. I use it at the end of every strategy session or the end of every coaching session. Every day I'm becoming more and more of who I want to be, not who you said I should be, not who society says or my parents said or my hubby said or whatever my daughter said. Who do I want to be? Every day I'm becoming more and more of who I want to be. I am me. There's power in who you are out there, leaders. Can't see your faces. I don't know who's gonna watch this back. I want you to know that there's power in being just who you are, that you are imperfectly perfect. You are imperfectly perfect. And when you own that, you own your greatness, and great things happen. Magical things happen. Powerful things happen with belief and execution. So I wanted to share this with you. It's a tool that I use. I've learned through coaching. And if you're dealing with having a negative mindset, maybe even struggling with I'll never become or do what I say I'm going to do, or I'll never achieve these goals, whatever. It could be stem from childhood, could be stem from a bad relationship with others or with self. But you can use an anchor to support your positive thinking habits. And how it works in a nutshell is, whenever you feel like you're going to see something negative, or you feel like that negative thought's coming on, or that energy, you can feel like, oh, I'm feeling a bit off. I want to invite you to think of an anchor. It may be a favorite song that you love. I have so many favorite songs I can put on, and I'm like, yes, I feel amazing after. It lifts my energy, brings me back that positive mindset. It may be a favorite candle, a favorite scent. It may be a favorite quote, whatever that positive anchor is for you. Decide on what it is. And then whenever you feel that thought process, that anything that you want to get rid of, that thought that is not empowering you, that's not elevating you, you use that anchor right away. Put on that song, say that quote, put on that smell, and change your thought process. Now, is it easy? No, but it will be worth it. It takes time. Again, habits. We're habits of creatures of habit. So build that anchor and use it. That's a tool. And I mean, it's changed so many lives that I've worked with, myself too included. The mindset, your mind is powerful. Use it to inspire, motivate, and empower you. Wrapping up here, my last C, consistency. I love this. Hello, my name is Consistency. I make it happen day in and day out. You might know my good friend Success. We're always hanging out. Yes. Consistency equals success. Be consistent in whatever you do. Whatever you do, show up for it. Show up for you, most importantly, and show up for those that you are looking to empower in your line of business, your career, whatever, personally, professionally. Be consistent in your goals. It doesn't happen overnight. Amazing things don't happen overnight. You're not going to just go to the gym 3 times for the year and drink a few protein shakes and say, hey, I gained my 20 pounds of muscle. It's not going to happen. Okay. So be consistent in the goals you set. And will it be easy? No, it will not. But will it be worth it? Absolutely, yes, it will be. And I have every confidence in you that if you take the time to map out your vision, create the strategy, and execute, you will be amazed by what you see, the success you'll achieve in your life. And I'll wrap up with this: success. What does it mean to you? I talked about this at the beginning. Success needs to be defined by you. What does that look like? Be clear about it. Clarity, remember, saves you time, money, energy, and resources. Be clear about it. And you deserve every great thing the world has to offer, but you need to believe you need to believe it to receive it. So I'll leave you with this. Your success starts with you. What will you do today to achieve greater success in your life or your business? What will you do today? Not tomorrow. I could wait till January 1st to say I'm going to start working out again. No, I was like, today I'm going to just start with 30 minutes, slow walk on the treadmill. If I feel my hip hurting, I'll just reduce it, which I did. Because normally I would run at like 5.0, between 5.0 and 6.0. That would be like my, steady stream. And today I went on at 3.5. I'm like, okay, that's a bit too much. I could feel my hips starting to hurt. So I'm like, you know what? I brought it down to 3.3. I'm like, okay, that's good. 30 minutes, it's a start. Start today with what you have, with what you can do now, what's within your power. Remember, I mentioned in the beginning, let's not focus on things that are not within our control. That's where stress, anxiety, depression creeps in. Focus on the things that are within your control. So, what will you do today to help you achieve greater success in your life and your business? I know what my tactic is today. We are on today at 6 o'clock. I'm starting to work on my vision board. I have a nice small group of people who are joining me virtually. And we're going to talk about that big, grandiose vision. And we're going to talk about how to make an effective vision board and map it out to start our 2022 off in the right way. And if you want to come in, tickets are no longer available. But if you do email me directly by 5 p.m., I'll slip you in, okay? At natashabrussell.com. All right. So be confident in who you are and in who God created you to be. Be fearless enough to pursue what sets your soul on fire. Be bold enough to own your greatness. But more importantly, be you. Because there's nobody else in this world like you. And so, like I've been saying lately, the last bit of this year, last half, the very best. You got to trust and believe leaders that the very best is yet to come and that you have a role to play in that. That no matter who you are, where you come from, no matter what your status is, that you are a leader in your own right. So may you lead your life with purpose, with confidence and clarity. If you want to reach out to me, I'm here on LinkedIn. I'd love to get some feedback from today's presentation. Let me know what was valuable to you in this presentation. What can you apply? I hope that you feel more inspired, motivated, and empowered to achieve your goals now in 2022 and beyond. And look forward to me sharing more great content with you in the new year. I'm working on setting up a schedule that's going to work for me and to be able to give you guys some great nuggets that will help you change your life, transform your life and your business for the better from the inside out. All right. Again, my name is Natasha B. Russell, aka MBR, aka Mrs. Darby. I'm signing out. I just want to thank you all for joining me today for my first LinkedIn Live. I was super nervous, could you tell? And I hope that you found this time with me valuable. And I look forward to seeing you all in the new year. All right. Stay safe, stay blessed, know who you are. The very best is yet to come. Bye.